Okay.
Okay, hold on, rolling.
Okay, now
Goodness
we're all ready to
gracious.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah. Okay. Today's show. What do we got for us? We have some bullshitting.
That's all it is. Welcome back. That's
Welcome
the
back
whole
to some
show,
bullshit.
Baby. It's the show. We should rename it.
Maybe we'll talk about news. I don't really, we'll see. Some AI negative
We're gonna
prompts.
talk about whatever we want, bro.
And then
man.
we'll go on with our favorite conspiracy theories.
Yeah. R.I.P. Gene Hackman. R.I.P. Michelle Trachtenberg.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Some good ones.
I don't know
Wow.
if anybody else R.I.P. I'm sure some R.I.P. to someone's grandma out there.
You know, I only knew Michelle from Eurotrip, and I didn't even know her real name until I saw her.
Love
on
that
headlines.
movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Love that movie.
Absolutely hilarious. But
I don't know if that was like one of like the last movies I had on VHS and first movies I had on DVD kind of thing.
oh, interesting. Wait, are you saying you might have had that on VHS?
I don't know if I remember that correctly, but possibly.
How much media do you own physically?
What do you mean media?
Oh,
Like
wow.
CDs and like videos and stuff, or what? Like what constitutes media?
Anything
Video
that goes
games?
like probably like Blu-ray and before, and video games included.
I mean, anything that's it could be video games, yeah, Blu-rays, DVDs, so movies, music, games. Yeah, I guess that. We'll leave books out. So movies, music, games.
But you're talking about like physical stuff.
Oh yeah. How much of one of those three items do you own physically?
Dude, maybe zero. I'm just looking around and thought maybe.
I have a
I'll
Nintendo
spot something.
Switch.
I have a
my
Switch too,
I
but
have
that's
my
not.
My computer encompasses all of those in one thing, kinda.
But do you have like the game discs, or do you digitally download
for
the
my
games?
Switch. I have
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 game discs.
Okay. No, I don't have any. I just download.
Yeah, Matt's zero. Okay, when you download though, are you downloading that can be saved offline, or can you only use it with some type of like paid subscription or whatever? Essentially, what I'm getting at
You can
is
use it offline. There's only a certain amount of data that you can have when you restore it from the cloud, and then you have to put it back into the cloud when you probably want to swap games.
so you can't keep it offline indefinitely and continue to use it.
As long as there's adequate storage, you can. But no, if you run out of storage, you cannot offline everything.
Okay. I guess, what I've noticed recently is that a lot of our media that we consume now is digital. We don't own it anymore, right? The subscription base business plan just runs through everything between music, your Spotify, your YouTube music. I was going to say Hulu, but, moving on to TV shows since I only have 2 music examples to go through. Apple Music? Is there a subscription for that?
Yeah, Tidal.
Yeah, I think so.
Come
yeah,
on,
Tidal.
dude.
Maybe SoundCloud.
But, I don't know many people who buy CDs anymore. I know some who buy records, still, dealing with records.
Yeah, just to be hippie nerds.
Mm-hmm. Trendy.
And like you were stating earlier, Matt, games, cartridges, a lot of it's digital. I have a Switch too, and I do buy the physical game cards.
Mm-hmm.
I just have this innate fear, maybe irrational fear, that that stuff will just one day get pulled from me, and I won't be able to get it if I just keep it digitally. If I only have a HBO Max subscription, which no one else has.
I have one.
Oh, you got it too? Nice.
Yeah.
Used to be Go, then it was Max, and then they're like HBO Max.
Yeah, bro. They have everything.
They couldn't decide a name for so long. So I try to buy things that I can hold on to, like whether it's like for movies, if I can find a downloadable file. I got storage, so I like to hold on to it, knowing that just because Netflix wants to get rid of it for that month, it doesn't matter. I got it.
That's true. I can't recall the last physical piece of like a movie I own. Step Brothers, maybe. On DVD, on Blu-ray, maybe.
I never bought a Blu-ray player. I completely just didn't even bother with that era of technology. After
my
DVDs,
computer
I
could
went
always do
straight
it.
to. I went through from DVDs to pirating to streaming.
Oh, but dude,
Skipped-
Blu-ray was so sick. I guess it's just like how 4K is. Like just that jump, you're like, dang, that looks nice.
I didn't see it. I didn't
Yeah.
see the difference between like DVD and Blu-ray.
It's because whatever TV you were using was
That could have been it. That
Maybe.
totally could have been it.
I'll say I've never
Because
done.
once I saw it in the store, I was like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really like can definitely say like, oh yeah, I saw a Blu-ray disc. Like I'm like
I-
that. A lot of DVDs, HD DVDs.
HD DVDs. That was a thing for a little bit. I thought Blu-ray was a money grab. Like they're just like swapping the technology just so like you can spend money and buy all these like IPs again in a different format just so all these like movie companies get money again.
You think DVDs will have like rare DVDs that'll be worth thousands of dollars?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Or what about VHS tapes?
VHS tape.
I think sealed. I think VHS might have
Sure.
to be in the sealed product thing. Like only the sealed ones will be worth anything. And
There's
maybe
got to
DVDs.
be way less VHS than DVDs.
1000%, especially sealed.
And Blockbuster was a big deal, so it was popular.
I'm thinking about the longevity though. Like I think DVDs can last longer than a VHS tape.
I'm talking about
Totally.
like, I'm not talking about
Value.
like I'm not talking about the like the longevity
Quality
of
of
the
the-
product, it lasts. I'm talking
Right, but
about
even in
the value of the vintageness, the retro feel to it.
But
It's
Like
you know,
Casablanca on VHS in like sealed wrap. Like, why don't we
isn't
just
part
look
of
it up?
that value
Brian,
that
Brian, pull it up.
it's mint that it could still work. So if it gets too
Yeah,
old
yeah.
where it's like, oh, we know for sure the tape has disintegrated, then does that lose all value?
I don't
Yeah,
know. People
1000%.
like things that are just like old that
One-
don't work.
1000%. There's not maybe like a couple VHS that in existence that are probably open that are worth over $1,000, if any.
Yeah, I don't think they're too expensive right now, but maybe in like 50 years.
I think physical media in general is going to make a resurgence. I think people are
'Cause,
going to
like,
get fed up with all the subscriptions, are going to get fed up that they can't, say view some Marvel movie on whatever time they want because they got pulled.
Well, you think they're gonna be fed up? It's so convenient.
It's
Yeah, right.
convenient
They're not gonna
until
be fed up.
these companies start, fucking around with it and not letting you have as much of the choice that you had initially, because they spoiled
And then
us.
what?
You remember us
But
three
then-
lived,
But what's
through-
the alternative? And then what?
and then you pirate. Then you
I
go
pirate
sail
now
the high
anyway.
seas, baby.
I've been pirating since a long time.
I think we'll likely see like a different medium platform before any of that. Before a resurgence in
Is there a name for an old pirate?
hard
a,
media.
a salty dog.
I guess Salty Dog is the name for a pirate.
An old
Scallywag?
pirate. No, Scallywag is like
Scallywag.
fucking-
I was answering some questions the other day. It was some type of like brain teaser, and one of the questions that came up, it asked for countries that start with O, and it had me stumped. It's like, oh shit, and I had to look that one up.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
wow.
got one.
You got one?
Yeah. Oman.
Nice. That was the one. That was it.
There's only one.
Nice.
That was the. I mean, I searched, and that was the first one I saw. I don't know if there's a second. I really don't.
You searched and you only found one. And you couldn't find if there was a second.
Well, off
What
the
did
top
you
of my
search?
head, I just know that Oman was the one that I ended up finding. But I sat there
Is
for like a minute or two.
Oceania? Is Oceania technically a country? I don't know how they pronounce it. Oceania.
Ooh.
Countries that start with O.
Countries that start with
Oh.
O. Oman.
Ohio.
Oh, Ohio.
The only. Ha.
Well, if you live in America, I think half of the people would say Ohio.
Got it.
Yeah,
those
Oman,
are- those
the
are the
only
names.
country that starts with the letter O. So that got me. And then so did animals that start with the letter N, as in November.
N, as in Movember.
I got one.
Matt, all right,
Okay.
Matt, you hold off. Bob, what you got?
Animals that start with the letter N. A needle-nosed fish, obviously, easy. That's an easy one.
I think that flies. Absolutely. That's better than me. I just sat there dumbfounded.
Golly,
Let me
guys.
think of another one.
Where's your brain power these days?
Wasted on various tasks that I don't want to do. What else you got there, Matt? What other animals?
Excuse
A
me.
newt.
A newt?
Oh yeah, a newt. Sure.
A
that
newt.
works.
N-E-W-T, newt?
Yes.
Correct.
What is a newt?
It's like a
It's like
salamander.
a small and a salamander. I'm not sure if it's a lizard or amphibian.
It's an amphibian for sure.
A semi-aquatic salamander that alternates between land and water. Wow.
Oh, nematode. I don't know if that's an animal. Though. It's like a
Nematode,
single-cell
I think-
organism. I don't think that counts.
No, I
as
thought
an animal.
nematode.
It's
I
in
don't
its
know
own
if-
whatever animal kingdoms. I don't think it counts as animal. You know, it counts as like the fucking bacteria.
It might be the stage of evolution of a toad.
Well, I was sad that I
that's a
did not
tadpole,
guess
dude.
narwhal.
Oh, narwhal. Yeah,
Narwhal's a good one.
That is a good one. I'm trying to think if there's any more like super obvious ones.
Probably any animals that start with night, but I can't
Like
think of any.
nightingale. It's a bird.
Ooh,
I
that's a good
think.
one. I didn't even think of that. Nightingale. That's
That is a
good.
good one. But, yep, that was, I don't know, just some random questions that came through. I was like, I don't have answers for those. Oh, well. Not important.
Where do you get these random trivia questions from?
That was a different podcast. I was listening to Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, and I don't even remember what the segment was really about, but I just remember those questions because I was listening and doing other things. I'm like, oh, do I know this? Like, I don't know that one. What about this one? I don't know that. Oh, well. I decided to search it later, and it stuck with me.
Random. I don't know why I just thought of this. Did you guys ever play that game online, GeoGuessr?
I've seen
No.
it, but I haven't played it.
It's a game about what it used to be. It's kind of evolved over like the last 10 years, but it's a game that was just on the web where it would put you somewhere randomly in the world based off Google Photos and Google Maps, and you can move on it and stuff as if it was Google Maps, and you would have to guess by clicking on a map where you were on the world. It was really fun. It just made me.
You've never.
It was a good brain
have you
teaser
seen
stuff.
the
There's
pro
people who are masters. The pros are crazy.
They just look at
this.
the dirt and they're like,
For
oh,
a
yeah, this is
middle
Nicaragua.
second.
And then they're like,
They'll
they click on the map and you're like 1 centimeter away.
They're crazy. At
You know what
this.
the real GeoGuessr game though is it's India only, and you have to click somewhere in India and find no trash.
That's funny.
Oh.
I saw someone do something like that, but I forget where they were clicking. That click anywhere in, I don't know if it was like some state, and you're guaranteed to find a Subaru. And everywhere they were for like 5 minutes, everywhere they clicked, there was a Subaru in the frame.
Sounds like, I'd guess Oregon
I don't remember.
or like Utah.
So that is.
I don't remember. But another little brain teaser game.
Yeah, I like those games.
Yeah, they're
Nutria,
fun.
that's another one.
Is that an animal?
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
that?
It's like a big rat.
Oh.
Looks like a
And-
beaver.
Nutria?
Kinda. Yeah.
Spell it.
Nutria.
I have never heard of this animal in my life.
That's a
There you
beaver.
Now
That-
you have.
Definitely looks like a beaver.
Now you have. You
It's a
Discovery Channel
semi-aquatic
pays
rodent.
off. Discovery Channel pays off. You got any more fun questions? I like questions.
No, those were the only two questions I got. That and how you liking Doge?
How you like Doge? Matt,
Yeah,
are you
everyone
invested in any of
enjoying
these,
Doge. We're all enjoying the Doge.
Are you invested in any of these meme coins right now, Matt? Trying to make a quick buck.
There's no quick buck to be made in this economy.
Not for us. Maybe for David
Uh,
Sachs and team.
David Sachs, bro. What about Robert Scroat? I mean, where are these people coming from?
Robert Scroat.
Yeah, I swear to God, his name is David Sachs. Yeah,
I believe you.
David Sachs, Peter Thiel.
Jessica Cooch is not
Yeah.
going to be happy about this.
Just
I mean, Trump was talking
or the-
about the Ethereum ETF, and that's like I think it's David Sachs ETF. just a few days ago, and that's when he made the announcement for the cryptocurrency reserve, and then price went up like 10%. Dude.
And then dropped again.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's
it's
money
buy
to be
time,
made,
right?
but like I said, Matt, not for us. It's gonna be for these guys: David Sachs, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Trump, and their goons.
They're goons.
TSMC. Yeah, no, it's just gotta sit back and wait. We'll see what happens.
We're not the right gooners this time, I guess.
I don't think we are. I mean, even if you hold on and the price goes up and you sell, there's no one who's
we
listening to
selling.
this is selling nearly as much as David Balsacks and the rest of those techno-feudal assholes. They're the ones making all the money.
Mm-hmm.
Last I'll say about those guys in Doge, I've really enjoyed going through all of the claims that Doge has done and just seeing, oh, this isn't fraud. This is just stuff they don't like. Why do they keep calling it fraud? This is interesting. And then they keep deleting things from the Doge
'Cause
website.
You're deceiving the American people with their tax dollars.
Yeah, it's just all deception.
I mean, it's wild.
So
it's
it's
like,
fraud.
dude,
And
all this stuff was appropriated
it's all just
by
like a
Congress.
drop in the bucket.
That's the
All
other
of the
part,
savings
too.
that they've said they did it. It's just a drop in the bucket. It's like what they could do with like cutting a little bit of military spending. It's just inflated bullshit.
That's I think one of my favorite parts is that all of the stuff that Doge is even claiming, if you take it at face value, is just like a percent, if that.
Yeah, if
So
that.
small. So small.
Right.
So
but
small,
but
so
taken away from like the people who probably need it more. Where you can
100%.
take fluff away from things like
I am.
No. And then the way they parrot it, I don't they talk about like, oh, this shit's going to for this at this country, blah blah blah, like condoms here or this teaching here there. But if you'll notice, and I won't say it, there's certain countries that they don't name when they critique the countries that we give money to. And when you look at the names that they don't name, it's pretty funny. And I'm part of that. So
I didn't notice that
look,
part.
sometimes think about it. I don't have to say it, but think about it. Like, it's just kind of crazy.
Think, Mark.
Think! Use your big brain here.
Big brain. But yeah, it's. I don't know if if diehard Trump supporters are even aware or even care about Doge and what they're cutting or what they're trying to cut. I'm very hopeful that the courts. I know there's plenty of suits in the system right now against Trump and Elon. I am hopeful that the courts are gonna ensure that a lot of this shit gets turned back. I mean, dude, Congress has the power of the purse.
Ryan, stop.
They appropriate.
Stop.
But that's how it works. That is literally in the Constitution. That Congress has the power of
You
the
can't.
purse.
Right, I think that the assumption that you are that you can, all those assumptions on how they can win, you gotta play different. Like, oh, Congress, don't worry, Congress will stop them. Like,
No. I'm not saying Congress.
Democrats cannot play by those.
It is the lower courts that need to do their job now. It is the
He packed
appointees
those.
that Trump
He
has
packed
done.
those.
Yes, but even then,
packed-
even the Trump appointed judges
Block by
have said like, no, you can't do this. You got to put a hold on that shit. But it's a matter of the rest of these courts also doing the same thing and following suit. I think there is some hope there. Because it's so fucking blatant.
But even if it gets held up in the judiciary system, just the rhetoric alone pushes the agenda in the court of public appearance.
Yes.
Right. So there's no loss. There's a whole different angle to it, and then eventually he gets his way because the public views it his way, and then the
to
court
some
becomes
extent,
that.
I think yes. But
Sure.
this is a start
fringe, but
of,
still.
of fixing not fixing, but at least minimizing the damage. I mean, this is the best we got. Is that the courts and judges saying like, yeah, this shit is unconstitutional. You cannot be doing this. You got to rehire, even though that's a whole other headache. But we'll see. We'll
Good luck.
see.
Good luck. We're prepping for war. Good luck.
Kind of. I
He's hitting
mean,
you. He's
Ukraine
hitting you
is.
with the taken. He's hitting you with a good luck. He's hanging up on you.
He said, "Have fun with that. Either give us your minerals and as much as we want, do it our way.
You don't have the
or
cards.
Get fucked."
You don't have the cards.
Yeah. He's right. They don't
He
have
is
the
right.
cards.
Absolutely, he's right. They don't have the cards.
You think you are? I am.
My cards.
That was the vibe. He was definitely giving
Yeah.
that vibe.
It's because Poopy Pants Vance opened his fucking mouth and then just like started like
PPV did?
pod stirring. Yeah. That guy sucks. But him and Zelensky have beef going back for a while.
It also seems
So
like that was the
that's-
point, though, was to have that type of explosion. Like that, it seemed like that's what they wanted. They wanted to poke and prod at Zelensky, have him just grovel at the feet of Trump, which he didn't, and I'm glad he didn't. And then since he didn't, they got all fucking hissy. I think that was
Yes
the
and
whole
no.
point.
It's kind of, you're glad he didn't, but I see the point of why some people wish that he did because they're in a dire situation.
They are in a dire
And-
situation, but I don't think
and
this makes Trump look good.
It doesn't make him look good, but it doesn't give you what you want, and you need what you want. And he
Trump
has the cards.
Is going
You
to
have
need public support, and if it continues to drop, he won't be able to get what he wants.
Okay, but Ukraine doesn't need public support. Ukraine needs American support.
They
and
do.
The only way to receive American support is through that guy, and in order to get through that guy is to fucking stroke it and cup it, right? Like at
Well,
the same time. And
The very next
you
day,
have to.
the UK and France, like at least the UK, Prime Minister Stormer, I can't remember his name, just said bluntly, like, yeah, we support you 100% of the way. If you need troops on the ground, we're there. If you need troops on the ground, we're there. So, I mean, public support outside of the U.S. has definitely consolidated behind Ukraine,
Okay,
which is
but
good.
that's nothing, Ryan. That's nothing.
Yes. I'm getting at, though, I know, you're right. It is a fucking balance, but I still would not want to see Zelensky just grovel at Trump's feet.
He has to.
He does not
I support Zelensky. Yes, I'm sorry, Ryan. He does. Because Trump is the way he is, and the only way to get what you need from America, which unfortunately is through Trump, is to do that to save your own people. Like, sorry, bro, just like Trump, you're great. I thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're the best ever. If it wasn't for you, I'll say those words a few times to stop literally people from dying.
Now, are you getting it to grovel and also make sure he gets his guarantees?
He's not going to get the guarantees. He's not
Because
going to get the guarantees.
there's no point in groveling if he still loses out on the end. Then fuck
doesn't
that.
matter.
Then don't grovel at all.
Okay,
if you're gonna
but Ryan,
lose, if
he's
it's
not-
lose,
Ryan,
don't grovel.
Ryan, he's not ever going to get the guarantees. Ever.
Then I wouldn't grovel
From
Then-
anybody.
and then I think he made the best move. Then
But
don't grovel.
No, then he's not getting support. Then he lost support. He can't. Trump paused support today. And Zelensky's like, I'm not in contact with the president, and I'm using my back channels to try to get through to him. And we don't know what we're going to do. Sure, he's going to get European support, but he can't do shit without the U.S. And unfortunately, I swear, unfortunately, I'm on your side. Unfortunately, he has to bend the knee. Has to.
We'll see to what extent. I'm happy he didn't do it on live television in front of the fucking world. If he grovels behind closed doors,
he was
fuck it.
doing it. But Ryan,
He
the
said
thing
thank
is,
you, but he did not like. He
but,
was
okay,
not
you
overly
mentioned
gracious.
earlier,
He was like, no, I
you
did say
didn't
thank you.
watch the thing was like an hour long, and we caught like the last 10 minutes or whatever that part is, and it was going fine. It's when freaking Poopy Pants opened his mouth, and he has a grudge against him, and then Zelensky called him JD, which I was like, ooh, like when they've been using like formalities to each other, like Mr. President here, and then Zelensky's like basically like JD, because Zelensky's talked shit about Ukraine for like the last couple years, and him directly.
I must say, I
it's
did
just-
like the part
you gotta bend the
where
knee.
Zelensky did say, have you been, like, he essentially asked, like, oh, have you been there? You should come here. He's like, no. And then JD responded, like, no, but I read. Like, oh, you read? Oh, that's great. You read something about what's going on in
Cool.
Ukraine?
But
Okay,
but
dude.
the thing is, like, I get it. The optics are fine and it like looks good, but he walks away from that meeting with nothing, like less than what he had. And Putin is like, thanks for throwing. Like,
Yeah, no,
Like-
you're right. I mean, the things that Trump is doing and has done aligns with what a Russian asset would do, which is fucking wild. But we'll see. I'm
yes,
hoping
it does. But we could have got more out of. They could have got more out of it. We could have got. We're gonna get everything. We're getting the house. It's just he should have not. He's gonna give us the house and more now, and he should have just bent the knee and taken it at the beginning.
I
Because
fucking hope not. Please don't. Please don't. Please somehow figure out a way to not grovel to Trump and still get what you need.
not happening.
It might not happen, but I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed.
You're playing against yourself doing that.
Yeah, well, a man can
that's
dream,
too
dude.
much pride and ego. Yeah, I get it.
Man
I
can
get it.
dream.
He's just a hoper, bro. He's looking at his Obama poster and he's like, yeah, it could happen again.
I'd be looking at a Bernie poster, man.
Well,
want-
you know,
you
he
want-
had his
not-
chance, and then they took it away from him, so he didn't have his chance. So you know, what can
And
you do?
now he's lost his chance.
Yeah, now he's too old to have a chance.
Dude, the motherfucker is going on a national tour against fascism. Fucking sick.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of the Democrats?
That's what he does.
Not doing anything.
That's the problem.
No one's
What
doing
are you
shit.
talking about? Newsom is starting a new podcast. He's
I
going to
saw
talk
that.
about the real facts, about the stuff that politicians don't really talk about in the news. All right?
No.
It's gonna be a big deal. Okay?
Yeah, he's getting ready to run for president in 2028. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
They
Gonna
saw
lose-
that the
gonna
Joe
lose
Rogan
ex-
podcast worked out.
He's gonna get cooked.
I mean, if Tim Walz
So, yeah.
runs, I think he totally gets cooked. If Walz runs, I'm all baby boy Tim. Let's go. Let's
Their
go.
balls
They're
to
all
the walls.
they're all cooked.
Walz
They're all cooked.
cooked
Walls is cooked.
from who?
I don't know. It's just not. I think the entire Democratic thing is cooked.
I think Walz is like the shining hope. Because
I
think
don't
about it.
I don't see Pelosi. Yeah, you think that. Maybe he is.
No,
but
not,
I don't see Pelosi.
not just me. Dude, when Walz entered the race with Kamala, that's when she was at her best, like 6 points, 7 points ahead. When Walz was talking about how the Republicans were weird, that's when the polls were best and geared up for Walz and Harris to win. And then what happened? Then we had the fucking Biden and Clinton advisors come in, and somehow Walz became mute. He no longer was talking about feeding children and doing free lunches through school, expanding Medicare. No, dude, they silenced his ass, and guess what happened? Oh, weird. They started to drop down in their ratings to about essentially even with Trump. To me, it seems pretty obvious that maybe what Walz was talking about did resonate with the people. Maybe people, that's what they wanted, and that's what they need.
Right.
'Cause I think that's what they do want.
You didn't finish the story. And then what happened? They
Yeah, they
lost every
lost.
swing state. They
Yeah.
lost every swing state.
Yes,
They-
and that's
like,
what I'm
it
saying,
didn't
though.
sway any.
They
I don't think
silenced
that was
the
the
shit
reason.
out of
I don't-
Walz.
I don't-
Walz no
yeah.
longer was talking about any of that shit that he started out with when he got on board with Kamala.
I just
They
don't
cut
think
him.
he has.
And instead
I don't
of-
think he has what it takes.
I think he
I just don't
definitely,
think he has
dude, he's like one of the best governors we have in the nation. Come on, man.
Maybe.
Free lunches to all kids within like K through 12. He did this
I
with a
like
1 vote
lunch.
majority. Expanded Medicare. He's also did, was it 3 months or like 12 weeks of paid sick
I
leave.
like him.
12 weeks
I just-
of like paid maternity leave. The dude,
Matt likes him. He just doesn't think he's got it.
I just don't think he's. I think there's also a problem that the Democrats will face, that the Trump wave is so big that anyone who was against Trump will face repercussions for a little bit. Whether, because it won't be directly from Trump, but if you are anti-Trump for a period of time, I think you're going to get backlash.
see, I don't think
And-
Trump wave is that big. Dude, the dude won by plurality. He didn't even win a majority. He won by plurality.
He won.
He did win,
He won.
but it was not a mandate as they make it out to be.
Who cares what what it is?
It does
it's
matter.
Still like
It matters a lot.
Sure,
This
it
wasn't
does.
this wasn't Nixon rolling every single fucking state over. The dude won by like 1.5% or something like that, and less than 50% of the votes. He still won.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And less than
Definitely won.
and less than 50% of the voting population actually even votes. And so there's just, you can throw whatever numbers, but he won. Like,
Yeah, no, he did win. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't this giant wave that he won. And then I think what's more scary is really the money behind him, which is fucking Elon's stupid ass.
I think the money's behind him.
That he
And so
definitely
I think
has.
the wave is behind, and I think in whether or not it's actually him, the wave is where the money's going, and since he's where the money's going, it's behind him. So
We'll
that
see
is
about
what it
Walsh, though.
is.
I mean, it's way too early to tell. A lot of shit can happen between now and then. But I'd be stoked for him at this point. But besides that,
Did you see? Did you see when Trump came and Newsom greeted him? On the
The handshake.
dude, I didn't know Newsom was such a big dude. He made Trump.
Yeah, he's
look
pretty
a little,
big.
He made Trump look like a little boy. Melania was like, "Oh my,
Yeah.
oh jeez."
when he came out to
Yeah.
see the
California
fires,
Did he kiss her on the cheek? Did he kiss her on the cheek?
Yeah, which cheeks? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about.
Ah.
News. That's what I'm talking about. News. Well, that's my
Gene is,
president.
dude.
That's my boy Gavi.
he's a good-looking dude.
He has no chance to.
Knows how to talk.
Gavi's gonna win.
All right.
don't
Enough
know.
of the politics
What else
and
we
the
got?
news.
For now.
So Bob brought up something called AI negative prompts. I have no idea what the shit this is. And he sent some stuff over and I read through it and I still... The best I got out of this was you have a
Play the
prompt,
video.
but you ask for the opposite.
Just play the video, right?
Play the video?
The video nerd.
All right. We got a video here.
Ah, dang.
Powered by complex deep learning models, can produce everything from hyper-realistic portraits to surreal, abstract compositions, simply from a few text prompts. These new creations are inherently alien and fundamentally different to any previous process of creation. Because while a human artist or photographer considers meaning, narrative, and aesthetics, an AI model, however, processes numerical vectors and constructs patterns without any awareness or context. This takes place within the AI's latent space, a framework that enables the AI to understand.
I always wonder where they get like this B-roll footage. Like, what is this image
don't
we're
know.
looking at and where did he get it?
There are
That's
websites where you
obviously
can
the
get
AI's
stock
brain,
footage,
bro.
and
What
you can
else-
just
what
search
else
it.
would that be?
I don't know. I mean, it could be like some AI generated image. That, I have no idea, dude. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. All right. I'm sorry.
I want to
generate-
believe.
These images. This latent space is a higher dimensional structure that acts as a map of abstract concepts and objects that are coordinated within this multidimensional space. So the AI isn't necessarily copying other images, it's rather forming something completely new from its higher dimensional representation of that object. Latent space operates in hundreds or even thousands of dimensions. This complexity turns it into a black box, where relationships between concepts are encoded in ways that even the model's creators can't fully interpret. What I find truly unsettling is the knowledge that these outputs were created by something entirely non-sentient. The machine's creations are the result of billions of calculations, guided by probabilities and mathematical rules. But at the same time, if it's all just math, then why do these images make me feel these emotions? Why does something created without intent or understanding evoke such...
That's definitely a scary movie waiting to happen. 100%.
I just like listening to Ryan's reactions. They make me giggle.
I mean, there's for sure some sick person out there that is touching themselves to this image. But for most of us,
Fuck.
this is like the cover of It 3 or something.
Looks like the James and the Giant Peach Kid.
You know, I can see that too.
Blitz out of his
visceral
mind.
reaction.
This one looks like Archie. It's not even that bad. It's just a redhead. Apparently, this one is just a redhead.
I mean, they're pretty bad though.
Yeah. Them gingers.
Why do they feel explicit in a way?
These are definitely eerie.
In September of 2022, an X account by the name of Supercomposite would make a thread about a phenomenon they happened across while exploring the capabilities of Stable Diffusion, a locally run AI image generation model, while making AI generated images of celebrities. Normally, these AI models are pretty good at creating images that somewhat resemble real people. You can tell that even on these earlier models, that the AI has a vague idea on what the person should look like, even though it fails completely at making a convincing image. It's almost like it's recreating it from memory. In this case, her target was famous actor Marlon Brando. She decided to try and see what would happen if she inputted the name as a negative prompt.
Okay, so now we're getting into the meat of this, huh?
Now we're getting into the sausage.
Okay.
The sausage is, we're getting into Matt's salchicha.
So we just got an explanation of this.
My chorizo?
Your chorizo.
Chorizo. So we got an explanation of essentially how these programs run, how the AI creates an image. And now we're talking about a researcher that was interested in, well, I guess what they did first was feed it like a half image or just like an incomplete image and asked for the system to finish it, right? And then it finished something like really essentially close to it. Did I get that right?
Yeah. So like, she's like, the initial thing was, I guess, just asking the AI to recreate images of celebrities.
Right, with like just like a fuzzy
Yeah.
picture or something, and like, you know, fill in the blanks essentially.
Yeah, to like the best of the AI's ability.
Okay, and it did a good job. We saw some images there, and it did a great job. And now she got curious, and she's asking a negative prompt. If she put Marlon Brando as a negative prompt, instead of doing Marlon Brando beforehand with just like a little information. All right, let's see what we get here.
Negative prompts are essentially instructions that tell an AI model to steer away from any particular feature or concept. If I prompt the sky, for example, I get sky images. But if I add a negative prompt to my original and make it sky blue,
Ground
then every
red.
sky image generated has to avoid the color blue,
There's
giving
red.
me a variation of overcast, outer space, grayscale skies, and pink sunsets. Brando -1 she inputted, and what the AI gave back was this image. Some sort of logo. Weird.
Why this? I guess that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, why does the AI associate this guy's face with this image, or the opposite of that face to this image?
Right, like I guess you could say indirectly correlated, right? Because you're looking for the exact opposite of Marlon Brando.
Is that what the -1 in the prompt does? It gives you opposite, or is it just like subtracting
Right.
1 from the value? It gives Brando.
I think it's supposed to be.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know if like opposite's the right word, but however they put it, it's like it prompts the AI to avoid any idea or likeness or even like resemblance in any way to what the negative is
to steer away from any particular feature or concept. That's the negative prompt. So you put in a prompt of
Steer away, yeah, to steer away from. So it's not creating the opposite. You're creating a separation on the spectrum. So if you did like brightness, like the level of brightness -100 or something, you're like taking away 100 value, or -1, you're taking away like 1 value. I don't think you're doing like the opposite of brightness.
So the negative prompt of brightness would be darkness.
I mean, it
So
would steer away
what's
from
the opposite
It
of
would show you all images that have no brightness because they would avoid everything bright, which would be dark.
So
think-
what's the prompt with the : -1?
That's how you make it a negative prompt. So like you would say,
Got it.
Yeah. Like so hers is like whatever, Brando.
It's not taking away
-1.
1 from its value. That's not how to interpret the text there.
I don't think so. I think the language interprets that as, like we said, looking for images and things that aren't particularly that feature or concept that's being searched.
The opposite of. Okay.
And I think saying the opposite, maybe it's not the correct way to do it, but I think for most of us, it's probably going to be the most tangible way we can relate with this.
Yeah.
So with that said, I'm going to continue saying the opposite. Why the fuck we got a logo here for the opposite of Brando?
Unless they give me a
Brando.
better word in the video.
I think there's only like a minute more that's worth watching anyway. Like go to like 6:35. I think you're like 5:30.
Interesting image. It kind of looks like a Disney castle too, and like Batman on the left. And then that contraceptive that goes in women on the right.
A diaphragm? Oh no, you're talking about like a ring.
Yeah, you got me.
IUD, guys. Come on.
You got me.
Come on, guys.
You get it. Okay, moving on.
In this case, whatever regions of the latent space that are unassociated with Marlon Brando seem to be around logos, maybe. Using this logic, Supercomposite tries to give a new negative prompt based on this image.
Hold on, we just got to go back real quick. I just like the way how the person adds in, just a little bit of doubt in their explanation here.
The Marlon Brando seem to be around logos, maybe.
He doesn't know if maybe it's not logos. Okay, maybe it's just the words. All right.
I understand. It's just I think it's funny that the person let that stay in there. I mean, I understand. Like this is your opinion. Like regardless, like you might be wrong too. It's okay, but
He's building intrigue.
it is very intriguing.
Just
So
own it.
the logos might be somehow unassociated with Marlon Brando. Maybe. Got it.
Using this logic, Supercomposite tries to give a new negative prompt based on this image. The only things discernible here are Digitapantics and the vague skyline on top. She inputs Digitapantics skyline logo -1 to see if maybe the opposite of this logo would give us something close to Marlon Brando.
Interesting. What do you think, Matt? Does it work?
There's too many. There's.
Do we get Marlon Brando in the next image?
I don't know. But
Oh, come on, give us a
it'd be
guess.
weird. I mean, I think the way that this story goes is yes, but how did this person decide to name this image Digitapantic Skyline logo?
'Cause that's what it looks like to them.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like to them. But that's not like. It's just okay. And then the
It's just- that's
opposite
just-
of. Okay, that
that's
threw me for a loop for a
legitimately
second.
All it is. That's legitimately all it is. They were like,
Okay,
they tried to
that threw me
figure
for a
out,
loop.
like what discernible things are about this, and they just like it looks like a logo. These are the letters I can make out, and that's it. And it looks like a skyline.
Because,
that's
like,
all they put in.
Because how do I if I went Digitapantic's castle logo, right? Because I said that's not a skyline, that's a castle.
Sure,
And
sure.
Yeah.
what is it the same?
We should try it. We should fucking try it.
Dude, we probably. Hey, do you have stable diffusion? You got it. Let's do this.
I could probably get it.
You should try it, dude.
That threw me off. That bridge didn't connect for me there. So I got a weird hunch on this part. But
There are
keep
many
going.
variables. So with that in mind, Matt, what
Yeah.
are you expecting to see?
Because this is the story of this video says mysteries that keep me up at night. It's gonna be Marlon Brando. I think.
I think it's gonna be
It's
like one of
ooh,
those.
weird.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those images, kind of like we saw earlier, the eerie, creepy like faces. I think that's what we get. It may, but reminiscent. Of Marlon
Obviously,
Brando.
something in that spectrum image, there's gonna be some connection into this word here.
All right, let's see what we get.
What she would instead get is this.
This is not Marlon Brando at all.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, did you guys get chills? Or is that just me?
That's you.
So I like creepy stuff, dude. That's
Is it also weird to have a boner?
For some reason,
That's
the
not weird.
negation to the negation of Marlon Brando gave back 4 images, which all show the same devastated-looking older woman with defined facial features.
All right, that's
What
pretty
is
much the end of
this?
it. This video, otherwise,
Who
this video
is this
go on
woman?
forever.
And why does she appear distinguishable in all 4 images? After further examination of the final output, one word here seems to be legible. Loab.
Okay, well, now this guy just
Curious and
deep dives
intrigued by his-
into the woman, so. But
Dude.
that's more or less what caught my eye. This whole negative prompt thing.
My hairs are still like rising on my arms.
Okay,
Ah.
you should finish this video. It's a good ass video.
No, I'm not going to finish this. I'm going to go watch Futurama after this. Are you kidding me? Jeez.
I don't bite on this one.
I need a palate
I'm calling
cleanser.
BS.
Oh, what? BS
So
as in like
from what
that?
from what
You go.
what? So from what I learned of stable diffusion models, at least in the early ones, they generate random text in places where text needs to be, and so these words like Loab and Digitopantix are just like random word generation. It's like, I don't know if it's, this guy's making it seem like it's like some code, and like if you keep entering all the words that are in the images, you're gonna eventually come to, like, it seems like some source of these letterings. I don't know.
I think this person was just
If you-
curious.
It just seems like gibberish.
If you want, what I can
Just
give
spoil
you
it. I'm not gonna
TLDR.
just spoil it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the video from the rest. He goes in. He uses that Loab. He like names this woman that character, and then he tries to cross the image of the woman with other pictures just to see what happens, and then like the woman always, what is it called, like dominates the new picture, like the new fusion. Instead of becoming a fusion, she like becomes like the focal point, and then there's something about how like she like twists the pictures and makes them all like dark, where like something about how her image is associated with like sadness and like gore and like death and sickness. So something about her features and the AI's recognition associates her with like these bad things. So like every time he tries to combine her picture with whatever else, it like makes bad things. So he was just him curious as to why, what about her features make the IA related to bad things. Like more or less, it's like what he's curious about.
So you're telling me Stable Diffusion has a dark soul?
Part of it, I suppose.
I don't know.
Scary. Interesting. So Loab, yeah. So to me, what I'm getting off of this is that this Loab character that was generated and created, just whatever it touched, it turned into creepy.
Yes.
Yeah, so is it now every time you enter the word Loab, or when you mix the image with another image?
For this next part, it was him combining images. So it wasn't him necessarily typing in like Loab plus flower or something. It was just like he
Right.
took this picture of like these 4 things that were generated, and then was like, fuse this picture and like, I don't know.
So
Staple
only
Center.
this was like this was like the source image,
Yeah,
or
that
whatever.
4 image or whatever.
and
At
he
least
used this
from what I could
multiple
tell.
times on different images, and it created basically whatever it was plus sad girl.
Right. Like if Ryan fast forwards through it, like, you'll probably see a few of the images, and like it's associated with like, I don't know, like hurting kids and stuff. But like obviously they don't show that kind of stuff because it's like.
So what is the eventual full circle connection here?
I don't recall exactly what the end point. The point of the video is like it's a mystery, so he like doesn't understand why.
I got
there's
you.
this relation, you know what I mean? So it's just like something that keeps him up at night. Is like, because he's curious why this AI has such a, I don't know, like Ryan said.
Like there's a source code in the image that when mixes with okay, I can kind of see how this is still interesting.
Whatever it's called.
Here's your takeaway.
Nightmarish.
These negative prompts reveal hidden AI associations, sometimes producing eerie, unintended results, as seen with Loab. These emergent patterns suggest AI organizes concepts in complex, unpredictable ways.
It also
Take
makes me
that.
think that there's like I'm not claiming to know basically anything, but I feel there's metadata in the images that when you combine other images with this, just with like the metadata, it'll just naturally make it.
Sure. Yeah, I don't.
creepy
That
or
could definitely
whatever.
be a thing. So it's like, what about the metadata of the image or whatever makes the AI go, oh, like, yeah, this is gory, from like, from
Right.
We started from Marlon Brando to a sign, to the opposite of a sign, to this random chick, and it turns into
Do you know
all
what'd
of a
be-
sudden.
Do you know what'd be interesting? And I'm just fucking riffing concepts here. If inside of metadata there's some sort of concept of like what do we call it? Dominant and recessive, like as in genes, and so there's like dominant and recessive metadata. So when you combine images, dominant metadata is what's shown, and recessive data is kind of like not shown. But if you cross breed a lot of these images, you'll get different like expressions of this data. But you have to have certain metadata that's dominant and certain that's recessive. I don't know how you would do it, but I'm just riffing.
Dude, just wait
there.
in by like 20 year 2628 when someone looks at this podcast, they're like, "Oh my God, Matt was the first geneticist, bro."
yeah. Metadata geneticist. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
But yeah, this is just something I thought was interesting. It's kind of spooky.
that was definitely
is.
spooky.
It makes me also think of like hieroglyphs. Like images have like power, and like base images have more power and
Ryan,
expression.
you believe in luck, Ryan? You think luck's a real thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Like you think
I do, but I call it karma.
you think like you can have items can be lucky?
I think items can be lucky.
Like you could have a lucky coin,
Oh,
lucky sweater.
Yeah.
That I'm more disassociated from. I think there is luck, like things just happen to work out, but I don't think it's because of some object. But you might have an object and you've made that correlation. That's okay.
Okay, so you believe, yeah. Okay.
So no, take
I
your
do, but not
lucky
in
quarters
maybe
and
that
shove it down
kind
your
of
throat.
concept.
Won't be so lucky then.
You say, people always say you make your own luck, but I'm just like, but like luck as a concept is like a thing, right?
I think so.
It's just a thing. If Matt and I flip coin and I get more heads when I wanted heads than he does, I was luckier than him. Isn't it? That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a concept.
Or just statistics just went your way for that.
Yeah,
For that,
maybe that's the definition of luck. Statistics went my way this time. Luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the more unlikely it was for me to get those statistics, the luckier I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to measure it. I mean, it really is. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, when someone uses the phrase "you make your own luck," I think there's definitely some truth to that. Like, part of it is,
I believe that.
yeah, the way I see
You
it
set
is,
yourself up to be lucky.
yes, you set yourself up. Maybe finally there comes a chance where you needed to use that skill or whatever the heck it was you're working on, and there you go. Here's your opportunity, and you can capitalize on it. Like,
I always thought about that. Like, if you're single, and if you just hung out in a place where everyone's hot, like, even if you get the worst chick, she's gonna be hot, so you're gonna win. So you just gotta set up your surroundings, right? You gotta set yourself up for success.
Not
That
necessarily
is-
true, but I see your point.
that is
You know what
another
I
way
mean?
to explain it. Yes.
I see your point, but I don't. I know people who will fail in that situation.
Well, sure. You have to. I'm just saying, if you have baseline game and you can already get a girl, and you're like, you know what, I want above average, hot at least.
Like you're saying though,
My
you're
current
trying to set
surroundings
yourself up for
aren't giving me
success.
that.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
there.
You're gonna
It's
be
like-
there.
I think it might be easier to do with rich because it's like much easier to go to like an affluent area and just be like, I don't care what the looks are. I'm just looking for money here. Like,
That's true. Because you can't really see money. Well, you can, I guess.
But yeah, you put yourself in a situation where hopefully you can capitalize. And a little bit of luck, it works out. With a lot of luck or bad luck, you end up with conspiracy theories.
oh yeah, you got any good ones?
I think we were talking about this last time. Our favorite conspiracy theories. I think one of my favorite
Yeah,
ones.
I looked mine up. Did we talk about it on the last podcast, right? Or did we talk about it offline?
We talked about it offline,
Oh.
but yeah, no. Tell us yours, Matt. What did you have?
Well, I was gonna reference to what we were talking about before, but when we were talking about before, I said I don't really believe in conspiracy theories, except there's like one that I won't write off, right? And I told you guys that one is World Trade Center Building 7, right? So
There we go.
for those
Yep.
of you that don't know, on 9/11, later in that day, I learned by I think it was like 5 hours, Building 7 of the World Trade Center also collapsed. This was a building nearby. I think they say like 380 feet. I forget how many stories.
47.
47. So there's video of it collapsing 7 hours later. Didn't get hit by a plane or anything like that. Officially from the National Institute of what is it? SST is. Can you scroll up, Brian?
National Institute Super Team.
Whoever. These guys did an investigation on what
These guys.
We got you. National
These guys.
Institute of Standards and Technology.
These guys.
Yeah, it's the super.
I try to go to the source, right? The super team. They did an investigation on the cause of the World Trade Center falling. This was years after. There's a whole Q&A on what happened. If you don't want to go through it, basically what they said was fire. A fire caused it to collapse, and not only was there a fire, none of the sprinkler systems worked on a lot of the floors, and the backup sprinkler systems didn't work as well. They said that this was caused due to debris falling and the towers collapsing during 9/11. And also there were no casualties because half the people didn't go to work that day. And when 9/11 was happening, they evacuated this building. And a couple hours into it, they had basically said, oh, we're going to give up and we're just going to basically let this thing collapse. Whether or not it collapsed by fire or not, who knows, and why they let it collapse. But technically, this is the only building in the United States that has ever collapsed due to fire. I looked up a list of other buildings that have collapsed due to fire, and there's basically like skyscrapers. By the high rises are skyscrapers. And
I was going to
basically
say,
there's only, like,
by buildings you meant like multiple floors.
Yes, there's actually a wiki page. I forgot to send it to you. Maybe I should send it to you real quick. List of fires in high-rise buildings. It's on like a wiki page. I'm going to send it to you real quick, Ryan, in case you want to pull it up. But basically, oh, you got it. This is like the only one. So I'm still not convinced that it's still a conspiracy to me. None of these other buildings that have had major fires in them on like multiple floors and all that stuff have not collapsed. But this one is like one of like 3 on this list that have like collapsed.
Interesting.
And this is a modern one. Yeah.
I wonder how big the other fires were.
They tell you like how many people died, how many floors, whether the building collapsed or not. Like the damage. Sometimes they collapse due to just demo, right? And not just actual structural like fire. Other ones have had, bombs go off. Others have had other planes crash into them. Some as big as like a Cessna, others as like a C-130.
Yeah,
and they still don't collapse.
Yeah, but what I think about is like some of these, like an explosion. Okay, I don't know. I just kind of think like how long were some of these fires too? Like you can have a fire, but then for how long did it last?
What the report is saying is that, well, the NIST report is saying that they basically after like the fire spread as much as it did, because also they're dealing with 9/11 and none of the water systems worked in the entire building for some odd reason. They didn't like have the manpower, and they basically just like gave up, and they just let the building burn down.
So your conspiracy,
which doesn't make any sense either.
You don't know why it lit on fire.
I think they let the building go. No. I think they let the building go.
Oh,
on
sure.
purpose.
Who cares? I mean,
No. I think maliciously. Like,
oh, you think they did it to like?
That's the
burn
conspiracy
documents or something.
Because it's weird that it's part of the World Trade Center system, right? Like this is like international trade. Whether there's documents, whether there's servers, whether there's something in there that they wanted to demo. Also, the Deutsche Bank building went down on 9/11, like months later because of contamination issues. But there are images of Deutsche Bank being hit by significant parts of the main towers from 9/11. So I can maybe see you kind of demoing that building. But Deutsche Bank also went under kind of a little bit during this time, and we're going through bankruptcy. So it all feels just conspiratorial about like hedging money in my eyes. And then using this to hedge money and then leverage that hedge to go to war to the Middle East to make money. To me. But that's just my conspiracy rabbit hole through this whole thing.
I mean,
Why
I
did
think-
the sprinkler systems fail? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's
so,
just...
yeah. The answer here given to you by NIST and the
Yeah.
investigators was that the collapse of the World Trade Center 1 and 2 damaged the city water main, and it's the water main that served as both primary and backup source of water to the sprinkler systems.
There you go. World Trade Center cut the water, dude. A big ass building fell. If some baby ass building's on fire, you think? And I'm trying to dig people out.
This
of
wasn't
it,
baby, though.
but like, if, compared to the World Trade Centers, is a baby. And you told me everyone's evacuated from it already. Like, why would I bother dealing with that fire?
But
I
the
have to save
only
people
one,
in
like,
this
I think people,
current
I
building.
see that argument. I totally see that argument. But, like, I think they save money by not letting this thing collapse and, like, trying to put this out. And, like, what if this building collapsing starts a fire in another building? Like, you're just compounding the problem here. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you're
so-
probably right. And they probably thought about that, but they were like, yo, we got to take the risk and we got to tackle the bigger problem.
But they're saying, then the conspiracy theories to go like, oh, the collapse looks like a controlled demolition,
Well,
right?
sure.
And
I mean, there's people
there's
who
also there's a section. Oh, there's an interesting section in this Q&A about there being some data that they won't release to the public, and they're saying, oh, we're not releasing it for your safety.
Interesting.
Find the question, Ryan, if you don't mind.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, there's that question, 15, but it's not that one, but that's also an interesting question.
Oh, 15 is interesting because it asks kind of like what you're stating, Matt. Why did the World Trade Center 7 collapse while no other known building in history has collapsed due to fires alone? I'm not going to read that right now, but I'm guessing it's because the fire burned for a long time or some shit like that.
That's what I have to guess too, right?
Let me see where I can find the...
Unattended fire for 8 hours will probably make a building collapse.
Yeah, totally. But why did they leave it unattended?
And that's what you're getting at, right? Like
'Cause-
that
Yeah.
it most likely could have not
We
been
had
unattended. It could have been
The most
tended
traumatic
to.
event in our lives happening right next door. That's probably why.
Yeah, no. I can see that why they'd make the argument, but I can see
I mean,
how it's
that's
also
just
the
like my
perfect
that's like the
ruse
obvious
to
thing,
hide
right?
it.
But yeah.
Yeah,
of
it's
course.
Occam's. It's Occam's. If you're going by Occam's razor, that is the answer.
Of course.
Oh, here we go.
But
Why did NIST withhold from public release limited and specific input and results files for certain collapse models used in the World Trade Center 7 study? This information was exempt from public disclosure under Section 7D of the National Construction Safety Team Act because it was determined by the director of NIST that release of the files might jeopardize public safety. The withheld information contains detailed connection models that have been validated against actual events and therefore provide tools that could be used to predict the collapse of a building. The information contained in the withheld files is sufficiently detailed that it might be used to develop plans to destroy other similarly constructed buildings. That's
so
what
there you
I was
go.
thinking
That's-
of in the first sentence. It's like,
There you
if you have a
go.
model of shit like that,
yeah,
you know how something falls? Like,
They don't want to tell new terrorists how to blow up buildings. Really.
how to do it.
yeah.
So when you don't tell them, you know what they do? They just run planes into them. But I do also get that argument. But
Have
at
you
the
seen
same
the
time,
thing
it just
about-
provides, you're leaving yourself open to conspiracy when you don't disclose,
This
just like the
reminds me
Epstein
of,
files. But
something on MythBusters. I don't know if you guys know about this. There's like like a Comic-Con or something. They asked Adam Savage, one of the MythBusters, like, is there something that you could never show on air from like one of your shows? And he was like, yeah, there was an experiment once that we did where we discovered that like there's a compound that is easily accessible by anybody in like society anywhere in the US that is like extremely explosive and could cause like major damage. And like as soon as we
Thermite.
figured it out, we had to like contact the, I don't know, whoever the fuck government to talk about it, and they told us like you can never like release this episode, and like and they could never talk about what the compound was or whatever. People have guessed at what they might think it is, but like it's something that you don't need even to be 18 to buy, and like you can just like buy it, I guess, in large quantities and make bombs, and it's legal.
that wouldn't surprise me. Sounds like thermite.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like probably some household items you buy at like a grocery store.
Ryan, you're the chemical engineer. You tell us.
Look, dude, my grandma would say this. She'd say things like, when I was at school doing chemical engineering, she would say things like, "Yeah, my grandson knows how to make bombs." I'm like, "Don't say that, please." Like, no, I don't. I haven't studied bombs. You know. Not. No, look at a few chemical reactions. We can figure it out. But yeah, my guess is that it's got to be items you buy at a grocery store, and like something like that easy and simple.
Probably. Going back to it, this is like the only conspiracy that I'm still semi-open to believing that at least a part of 9/11 is unanswered. Maybe I'll leave it at that.
Say again?
Whether
Say it
it's that part of 9/11 is unanswered. I don't know. I
you're going
don't
back to the
buy because of this building.
Okay.
Like them letting it fall, no buildings coming from fire, the system, the sprinkler system's not working, the backups of it not working. Like
Matt doesn't buy it.
Matt
doesn't buy the answers.
There's just
He doesn't
Nah.
buy and that's why he buys his conspiracy.
oh, and I didn't look it up, but I should have
Huh.
looked up. The other thing I forgot I mentioned this on the last time
I love it. Tell me.
was I talked about the passports.
The passports.
How,
I don't
like,
remember what the passports is.
They found unburned
They
passports
found
or
the
something?
passports of the terrorists
Oh.
after the crash in 9/11. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, the buildings collapsed, but the passport survived? Like, that can't be a thing. So that was the other thing that I was like, I don't get. There's certain things in 9/11 I just don't get.
That is very interesting. Have you heard of triacetone triperoxide, Ryan? That's what people think the compound was.
I have not heard of that.
They say you can make it at a grocery store or a hardware store, and it's roughly 75% the power of TNT.
Interesting. See?
Four
I
of
mean,
the hijackers' passports survived. 4.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Obviously,
Four
they
passports?
threw it out the
Yeah.
window, Matt. Duh. And
and
they all landed together. They were like, "What to do?"
Intact.
The guy wrapped him with a rubber band, threw him out the window.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the
Look
passport
Yeah,
here.
what's
of
the passport explanation?
one of the
I am
dudes.
Curious. I am curious.
was found by
if
a
that's
passerby.
true.
Like, what?
I'm curious what the explanation on the passport is.
Okay, interesting.
You saying those didn't incinerate as soon as his face went through steel buildings?
Explain terrorist passports not burning. Let's see what this shill search engine tells me. Oh, here, yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
Whoever's watching this is now just watching us Google shit.
Yeah, hello,
No
my
one's watching.
darling. Hello, my darling.
Let's be real.
Hello,
This is
my
for us.
darling.
I am not going to read all of this right now.
Just put it in ChatGPT and say, "Hey, find me the parts I want to know."
That's so much better, dude. ChatGPT.
Done. Let's do this.
How did the terrorist passports not
Too long. What?
Wait,
Come on, ChatGPT.
What do you mean? Okay, the idea that the terrorist passports didn't burn during the 9/11 attack has been a subject of skepticism and conspiracy theories over the years. The story goes that one of the hijackers, after the crash, supposedly had his passport found relatively intact despite the massive destruction. Few possible explanations. 1. Passports are made of durable materials. That's it.
Okay.
2. Location of the passport. The passport may have been in a part of the plane or crash site that wasn't exposed to the highest temperatures. The way a plane breaks apart with debris scattered across a large area means that some objects could survive in cooler areas or places where flames didn't reach. Number 3, coincidence or media sensationalism. It's possible that the discovery of the passport was sensationalized by the media, and there could be more to the story that wasn't shared. In the aftermath of such a traumatic event, there were a lot of reports and narratives constructed that may not have been fully accurate or reflective of the actual circumstance. And the last explanation is called low probability, high visibility. So, statistically speaking, the survival of such a small personal object like a passport in such a massive disaster is a low probability event. But the rarity of it made it more memorable and led to more questions, given the chaotic nature of the situation. there's a chance that the discovery was just an incredibly strange coincidence. It's definitely one of those things that stirs up controversy and fuels conspiracy theories, but when it comes to actual physics and material science, there are plausible explanations for why something like this could happen and why a passport might survive a catastrophic event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like all those answers are super plausible. Like, yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. Sure.
Yeah. When you juxtapose a building that wasn't hit by a plane collapsing and a passport running 600 miles per hour into a plane not incinerating, makes no sense.
It just got lucky. Just got lucky.
Unlucky building, lucky passport.
Lucky passport,
what
man.
are you?
That I didn't believe in lucky objects, but now I do. That's a lucky passport.
What about unlucky? That's the unluckiest world trade. That building didn't get hit.
Well, that's why it's not here.
You're saying it didn't get hit, and the fire control system on every floor from like 10 on up didn't work, and it collapsed because everyone gave up.
Yeah, unlucky building.
Unlucky building.
Lucky passport.
Unlucky passport. I love that one. Nice. Bob, do you got a favorite?
There was one, I think it was like Prince Charles is a prank caller or something. I forgot. I wrote it down, but I forgot where I wrote it down.
That's such a harmless
Prince
conspiracy
Charles
theory.
is a prolific prank caller and goes by the pseudonym Frank Garrett.
Yeah. I wrote that down somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, what?
Yeah. I heard about that, and apparently people believe it's like for sure true. Like that.
That would be.
Oh, that sounds concrete.
That'd be great.
So what Bart Simpson's people as like this guy with this moniker consistently?
Yeah. I forget what his favorite kind of joke was, but essentially, yeah. He'd call me like, "Hey, this is Frank Garrett." Yeah, fuck you. Like, I think people have like recorded it, but I can't be certain.
Imagine getting that phone call like being in England.
Yeah,
Frank Garrett.
Nuts.
Frank Garrett's calling me, and you know it's him.
Man, I think just the idea of someone, a king, just having prank phone calls. I don't know why, but I'm thinking of it as being very innocent too, and like childish, because it is childish. But
I'm sure it is. It's like their way to get away from like the system of monarchy.
That's how I'm seeing it. Like I'm seeing it as like some like nice escape, and not a prank phone call in the sense of like some like doing something mean and malicious. Not a malicious call.
Right.
That wouldn't be a prank phone call.
Ding dong ditching for the king.
Dude,
yeah.
It's the only way he could get a rise, dude. He's like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I'm being bad.
Like if that is his being bad, sounds great.
Someone should teach him Photoshop.
Here,
But is it
says,
Prince Charles who
says,
was also on the Lolita Express?
It says Prince Charles would call people around the world and cuss them out using a southern drawl. There's tons of these calls people have recorded and posted on YouTube. If you ever receive a call from a southern Frank Garrett who makes no sense and just starts cussing you out, there's a good chance it's Prince/King Charles. He just calls people. There's American. Hey, fuck you, buddy.
No way.
Oh man, I believe it. I believe it.
I'd like to.
Here, we got a Frank Garrett to share.
Oh
Speaking
yeah.
of conspiracies, and this guy,
Frank
his
Garrett.
wife.
I hope this is real.
Diamond L Supply.
Hello. I'll get the right number. You call in my office too, and you may be crazier than me.
Calling your office.
Yeah. I've got 6 calls on here from this number. That's how I got it.
Well, I don't know who's been using my. I mean, I'm the only one in this office, and they're all from today.
Oh, fuck. Yes.
Well, I'm the only one here in my office today, and I have not called your number. What number am I supposed to be calling? Because I sure don't know.
Wait, is Frank Charles calling people in the United States?
It says he's calling people all around the world. So yeah, he's probably calling a lot of people in the U.S.
Does this video say it's 18 years old?
It says 13.
13. Holy shit.
Nice. Nice.
How old is this Frank Garrett conspiracy? Let's see what happens next.
918-696-2788.
Okay, I do not have a 918 number anywhere that I have called today.
Same one you called me on.
The 785-482-3211?
Stupid son of a bitch, I'm getting tired of your shit.
Oh, angry.
Well, I don't know what you're fucking tired of, because I ain't fucking called you, you son of a bitch.
You got nothing better to do, you dumb motherfucker.
You know, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking or drinking, but I ain't called you. You call this number one more time.
It was you. Explain that one to me.
Wow. You call this number one more time, and I'll just turn over to freaking my...
If you're not calling me, why am I answering the telephone?
You've been calling me. This last 3 times now, you called me.
No, sir.
Yeah. You have called me, and I can pull it up on my caller ID where you've called me.
It's that code I've got this morning from this number.
Well, I'm sorry, but I did not call it, so I don't know what it is, but I have not called your number.
Okay, let me tell you something, Mr. Smoothie. You get fucked and leave me alone. Just quit calling me. That'll stop your problem.
Mr. Smoothie.
Get fucked and leave me alone.
Bro, you
I
can
believe
never
it.
catch me on a phone call like this.
We got 10, 15 seconds left.
I ain't fucking calling you.
Hey, you retarded motherfucker. Get off the phone.
You call me one more time, and we'll see what happens.
Ooh, scare me to death.
Ooh.
Scare me to death.
Ay.
The Stevia conspiracy. You heard of that one?
Which one?
Stevia.
No. I called Stevia. That's funny.
Stevia.
You're talking about the sugar replacement, right? The fake
Yeah,
sugar?
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know how it was banned like a few decades ago,
Shit, is it real sugar?
and like, you know, because that people were like, oh, it causes cancer and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
But
Alright, go on.
then it was proven wrong. So obviously stevia is legal now, right? Like artificial sugar is legal.
Uh-huh.
So like the conspiracy is like the plant is like 100 times sweeter than sugar, has no calories, it's way better for your teeth, it's natural, it lowers your blood pressure, and it could replace like all the sugar that we use and consume, but sugar companies have like a hold on the market.
Wait,
so that
are those
they
claims true about stevia that like it lowers your blood sugar like instead of like compared to real sugar?
let's find out.
I know it's definitely supposed to be a 0-calorie substitute.
It lowers blood pressure, not blood sugar.
Okay.
It says stevia acts as a vasodilator, which widens blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. So yeah, you know, big sugar, big sweet, just keeping stevia down. Although stevia tastes like trash, diet soda tastes like garbage. So they had to figure out the aftertaste first if they're gonna convince me to switch over.
Dude, some people like that instead. Like they prefer it.
Yeah, my folks, it's gross. But I think it's something you just get used to.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's definitely not for me. So the conspiracy here is that big sugar is holding back stevia from being larger and more used.
Yep.
I feel like that's not really a conspiracy and probably more just like the truth of like the economic game here.
Do you believe then that like we could have an alternate fuel source better than oil and gas, right? If we needed it today, but we don't. So
Well, I suppose when you say fuel
I think
source,
we don't.
are you thinking like for day-to-day driving, like our cars?
for like, yeah, let's just, I don't know, general functions. So do we have a something that could replace what we use today that is quote unquote, you know, bad for the environment that we
100%.
could be using that is it's just could supply all the energy we need and power we need
Yeah, it's called nuclear
and
energy.
not be bad.
Nuclear.
That's the way to do it. That's
I don't know. Nuclear energy kind of sketches me out, but
I mean,
Neo-nuclear is better safety.
yeah, man.
so but like how's nuclear energy gonna make my car go?
Okay, so that's the thing. You would use it for your large power sources, like your power generators that are running off of coal and natural gas. So your basic energy being fed to your house would be powered by nuclear. Your car, you go electric, and it's
Electric
being
is still
fed by
good.
the nuclear generators that are powering your house. So, but I think just switching out your main source of energy, like your these large generators, over to nuclear and putting that into the system would be huge benefits. Absolute huge benefits.
So you're saying we don't do that right now because big electric, big oil, big gas
And money.
are too powerful.
It's expensive.
Are too powerful.
But yeah,
It's
those
also expensive.
those industries would they fight again. They don't want it. Why would they want it?
Well, of course they don't
It's,
want
it's
it.
also coming. It's also
But
coming
if we're talking,
because I think.
but if we're talking
competition.
like utopian world here, or the best we could do, you would think, I guess every big body of people would be using nuclear power. We could do that, and the world would be way better off.
I don't even know if it would be way better off. It'd be better than we are today. I'd put it that way. I think we'd
Okay,
be better.
so
where
we'd be
we
more.
are.
it's not-
We'd be
it's-
more better. I think we'd be. The word is we'd be more advanced. We'd be like a way more advanced society. But it's coming.
Is it?
It's like
is
around
it
the corner.
way better for the environment? I have no idea.
It would
Completely
be absolutely
Supposedly.
better for the environment. 100%.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, what do you mean? Definitely better for the environment. We burn so much oil for just basic energy going to all the homes and electricity that we use.
I
change
say
that over-
supposedly because it's like I use the word because we've never done it. So you've never done long. I feel like there's never been long-term studies or something of it. I'm sure there's ways to predict and stuff, but in a real general sense, we don't know. And
What?
I don't know. We've had chemical spills before, right? And that's not safe. So if we have a chemical reaction, 6 Mile Island or Chernobyl or another one of these things, it decimates land for a long period of time, and that is not necessarily
That
better for the
sorry about
better
that.
for the
Sorry,
environment.
guys.
Yes, I guess.
Huh?
But do you measure all of the CO2 and smoke and shit and people that get lung disease because of it? When you're measuring the natural gas generators and diesel generators and the coal generators?
I mean, it's kind of apples and oranges when you're doing CO2 to radiation, but radiation poisoning could last a lot longer, technically in a grander scale. If something were to go wrong, it would be centuries.
Sure, and
or
when things
could
go
be
wrong,
millennia.
when drilling oil goes wrong and you spill a shit ton of oil in the ocean, I get
Yeah.
it. When things go wrong, it could suck, but I would still rather have that because from day-to-day operation, it is just so much better.
Yeah, Ryan's just saying the risk
Yeah.
is worth the reward.
100%.
I agree. No, I agree.
Because I feel like we're already doing the same amount of risk using the alternate source.
I heard today randomly, no source, that China is leading thorium reactors and thorium reactor production.
Yeah,
And,
most likely.
And they've got a significant, substantial lead on.
I don't even know what thorium is, dude. I only know thorium from World of Warcraft. I don't just-
So what Matt is talking
what do we use
about,
thorium for?
is instead of using uranium for
Nuclear
your nuclear, you're using it for your nuclear energy, using thorium. And what's special about thorium is that there was a lab here in the States that ran a thorium reactor off of what's called molten salt. It was a molten salt reactor, an MSR. I don't know if China's doing MSR. Most likely they probably are. But
We
the
know they're
idea-
definitely doing MSG. I said we definitely know they're doing MSG.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, I have MSG in my house. Like I literally sprinkle that stuff. It's just a salt, man. It's fine. I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah, it's crack salt.
Yeah, it tastes great. But anyways, with thorium, yeah, you can do a molten salt reactor where instead of using high pressure gases and like what we do today, you put it in water and the water gets hot and turns the turbine. You can transfer that heat using molten salt, which is done at room temperature. So you get away from all these reactors that use high pressure, which adds to the risk. You go to high temperature at room pressure, which reduces risk there, and the safety can be increased. And if you do have a meltdown, essentially that molten salt, it doesn't vaporize. It would just, you can set up such it just becomes a solid, and it doesn't spread.
So it's a safer energy reactor.
That is the idea. Don't know if that's what China is working on. If they're doing molten salt, most likely they are. But yeah, that's probably something we'll see too. Is hopefully some molten salt reactors. But they have a lot of issues. They got a lot of issues.
Man, I feel like I want to talk about something that can just go into like a whole other hour-long podcast. Like, you ever think we'll be able to harness the power of like a black hole like they do in movies?
No.
Like
I don't
you
think
can like you can make like a mini black hole and put it in a box and then use that as an engine for your ship. Like, oh, that'd be so cool, Ryan. Come on.
That'd be great. That's not
I think
for
we'll
humans.
I think we'll do nuclear fission, but I don't think we'll do black hole diffusion or whatever you want to call it.
You think humans will figure out like some crazy thing that has to do with time that changes the world in like not in our lifetime, but like in humanity's lifetime?
Bending time, huh?
Somehow, some way, something about time, some crazy discovery.
So one of my dominant theories on where I think humanity goes is a convergence of technology and humanity. So I think humans in their sense become cyborgs in the future. So I don't know what a human's going to look like in 1,000 years, but I think it's going to be more cyborg like, and I think that iteration of humanity will be able to do something with time. Whether that's actually change and go into it or be able to decode different in their minds different periods of time or something, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows
Maybe
what
it can
we'll be
move
able to do
matter.
with it.
Who knows?
Man.
But humans in our form, I don't think I don't think we'll do anything more than go to another planet and step on it.
I did make myself kind of sad because I was like, we're here for so short, and I'm like I'm so like jealous that I won't get to see what life is like in like 5,000 years. I really want to see what it's like. I really want to see. Like, it would be so cool. Like, assuming Earth's still here, right? Like, just to get dropped on Earth for a day, 5,000 years from now, and just like check it out and be like, this is nuts.
Who says you
like,
don't? Who says you don't come back?
That's true. We still have some time to find out. Maybe Matt's convergence happens a lot sooner than we think, and then we can be there for 5,000 years.
That's true. The singularity is near, if not already here.
Man.
That seems like such a long time. My goodness.
Like,
Well, all you have to do is live forever. You have to just get to the point where you live forever, right? If like in 60 years, like if we like live that long, if technology has advanced to the point where it's like, hey, you have the option to extend your lifespan 10x, would you do it?
Oh,
the
a
older I get, the
%.
less I want to.
I'm doing it.
If you could do it in optimal health.
Yeah, you see what I'm getting at. Like, cause like right now I got some knee pain, I have elbow pain.
Yes.
Like I told you guys,
But technology, obviously, we're going with the assumption not only do you get longevity, but stem cells have made progress. Like,
Yeah, he's saying you get to be
regeneration
you get
of
to
all
be
these
in your
things.
prime. Let's just call it. Let's just make it good. Whatever you do.
Top
your prime to be.
testosterone levels, dog. Your T is right there, right at the green.
nice. Does my wife get to come?
Yeah,
I mean,
she
it's up
gets
to
the
her.
same-
You can't force her.
That's true.
If she
It's
wants to
choice.
die, she
This is
dies.
America.
Oh well, she's in.
She'd be like, yeah,
Well, then there you go.
you go.
That's your line.
and then you both get optimal health.
Oh yeah, love that. It would be interesting though to essentially live multiple lives, if other people did not have that choice. You friends?
it would be pretty sick.
Do you think the
family
powers that
evolves?
be would put a cap on it?
Oh, like
Oh,
if,
not for them.
Yeah,
for
that's
them.
what it would be. The cap would be
That's another conspiracy theory.
anyone below $1 billion doesn't get this.
Damn, dude, I'm
I
cooked.
Love
I'm
Love
cooked.
that movie.
And then I'll be like, dude, you guys, I told you. That's why we got to ban billionaires.
I'm trying to think. I had another good one, but damn, I don't know. Oh, you ever think we'll invent like humans will make portals?
Yes.
Ooh, so teleporting,
And not in
huh?
the sense I don't know about portals, but they'll be able to teleport.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm talking about however you want to mathematically talk it. My only sci-fi explanation is like ripping a hole in reality from in point A that takes me to a different location in point B.
Okay.
I feel like
when
that
you
happens
when you
before
describe it like
Matt's
that.
thing.
When you describe it like that, no. But when you describe it as you stand in a tube and that tube takes your cells and brings your cells somewhere else, yes.
Sure,
But when you're saying like
I
rip
would-
a fabric of
I would
of
constitute
space
that
and walk
as
through it, no, I
teleportation.
don't.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go with transporting matter without by like I don't know, however you want to explain it, breaking something
Yes.
down and repurposing it in a different place.
Or quantum state, which is I think the future of teleportation, is having things in two different states at the same time.
Oh my god,
But-
that's nuts.
Actually, like, yeah, a hole where there's like a physical hole that you like walk through and like you're in a different reality. No, I don't think.
You
that.
don't think that's gonna happen, but you do think.
I don't think that. I think that's a black hole basically. Like I think like a black hole is basically to me a portal. Yeah, I know they say it's like hypermass and like it's just spaghettification, but to me it's a portal. It goes somewhere else. So, yeah,
I'm
I
open
think we'll
out
be
for
able to
that.
teleport.
The
I'm
teleport
for the
thing
rip in time.
where you get broken down and rebuilt, that one scares me because then I'm always like, is the repurposed version of me the same me? And like I know if like the reconstituted person that's there is gonna think it's the same you, but it may not be you. You could have died in that moment, and then like that
Right,
new
you do
version of
die.
you
It is
is
not you.
you know what I'm saying? Because it had to
Yeah.
rebuild you. So like your consciousness would change, you would lose it, and then like a new iteration of you would be spawned in that new point. It may not be a big deal to you, but like the old you, it's a big deal because that person dies.
Dude, I feel like it would
Yeah.
be painful. I don't know why. My initial reaction is that I'm being torn apart.
Yeah, you'd be mad
There's
sore.
a movie coming out. There's a movie coming out about that right now.
But I guess you're not being torn apart as so much as your the molecules that make you are not even disappearing. No, because we're saying it's being transported, so they're separating. Yeah, so you're being torn apart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're in a
we
sense
have. I
being
guess.
torn
I
apart.
guess you have to assume that like the technology is so advanced that like obviously it doesn't hurt you. Otherwise, nobody would do it. If you did it and then you wake up in a coma the next day, no one's teleporting. Like,
Are they gonna spray you with a painkiller as you're being torn to pieces? Like, just
I guess
come back numb?
teleporting would. I mean, we could still have it, right? We could use it to teleport, big things to other parts of the world and stuff because they don't
Okay.
feel pain.
Here's the question: say they come out with teleporting tomorrow, it works 100% every single time, no failures.
Uh huh.
Always teleport as yourself. Caveat: it fucking hurts. It is the most painful thing you have ever experienced in your whole entire life. Every time you do it,
Damn. For how long?
How bad and where? And
You-
what kind of pain?
you're gonna come back screaming in pain for like the next 2 to 3 hours.
This
You
just
know what?
sounds so funny to me.
We'll give it an hour.
2 to 3 hours.
Like
Oh
2 to
my
3 hours.
god. An
an
hour of
hour of pain.
excruciating pain.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd only do it for extreme circumstance. Then I don't.
I'd only do it. Interplanetary would be my only. If I ever needed to travel interplanetary.
Oh no, you would do it if you're like, oh, your sister is in an emergency. You'd be like, all right, I gotta go.
Okay, sure.
I have to go to London. Like,
Yeah, I
mean,
guess.
Because right, what does it take you to get to London at your fastest, Matt? How long is it taking you till you get there?
16 hours.
Shauna tweets to you, oh, Sandy's not with me, and I'm being attacked by a weird dude. Matt's like, yo, this next hour is gonna suck. Like,
For both of us. This next hour is gonna suck for both of us.
oh Oh man.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Sure, I guess. Could I bring someone with me?
Yeah, you can
Or
bring
does
someone
everyone get
with
this
you.
opportunity? Anyone can do it? Or
Oh man.
Anyone can do
do
it.
they get the pain?
Yeah, anyone
What a
who does
what a
it,
prank, dude. What a prank.
it's
Wake
painful.
up.
Am I limited? Am I limited to where I can go? Can I go anywhere?
Yeah, let's say you can go anywhere. I was kind of thinking of it more of as it was being provided to you as some type of like
A service.
service. So like wherever the service was, yeah, maybe there's one in LA and one in London.
Oh,
Yeah.
Assume
okay,
it's
I get it.
worldwide.
There's
Why
like
not?
a teleport.
You know, in my world, it's like everybody will have like a station in their house where it's like, oh, someone's teleporting in, and like they all spawn in the same place. You know what I mean?
Must be
Like
emergency.
Harry Potter and flu powder.
Oh, see, so
They come
somebody
into
already
the
thought of it.
fireplace.
Somebody already thought of it.
Yeah.
In Harry Potter. So there you go. I guess
Yeah.
it's that. However you explained it.
The flu powder. It's basically like coming in through people's fireplaces, or like in the Ministry of Magic, they like go through work and leave work through the toilets. It's weird. No,
Hey,
that's
just
weird.
like those Democrats, right?
So how does the calculus change if the pain is only intense for 10 minutes?
How does it
I mean,
change?
I'd do it obviously.
Would you be doing it a lot more?
Excruciating pain. Like when I think of excruciating pain, I think like I'm burning alive for 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I would probably never teleport like for fun. It would only be used for emergencies. I'd never want to be like on fire for 10 minutes to get to New York in an instant. You know what I mean? Like
So it
Yeah,
sounds
be an
like
emergency.
yeah. So it sounds like for Bob, it doesn't really change that much. You don't want to do it. Whether it's 10 minutes of pain, an hour of pain, doesn't matter. You're kind of viewing it the same, is what I'm getting at.
unless there was like a crazy way to game the system where they like knock you out and then they teleport you and then like you wake up after the pain's over. You know what I mean?
Wake up, you'd rather be unconscious.
Yeah,
I
unconscious,
suppose.
right? Just go through that 10 minutes, then wake up and be like, well, at least I didn't feel it.
Yeah, it'd be terrible to wake up early.
Right before you teleport, you just knock yourself out. Right?
They put you in a tube and they just
and you just pass out. All right, we're at 1:30. I got 1:37 on mine. What else do we have on our agenda? I'm trying to play some Rivals.
That's it. We can. That's enough
yeah.
fun.
I heard Justin Trudeau was Fidel Castro's son. That's another one. But yeah, we could talk about that another time.
Okay. Oh, if you made it this far, please like and subscribe, and tell us your favorite conspiracy. And I don't know who was listening to this for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, where are my gazoons at? Anybody remember that? Huh? Any remember those throwbacks?
That was a good one.
Any of my throwback listeners? Where are my gazoons at?
Bring back Gazoon.
Bring back gazoons.
Throw that gazoon back.
I love a good gazoon.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. That helps us help you with more content.